Hi, my name is Brooks Decker and I work for a local nonprofit organization called Hope at Hand. What we do at Hope at Hand is go into at-risk populations and facilitate creative expressions classes in the hopes of creating a space for healing during that time. A group facilitator such as myself will go into an environment that could be the Duval County Jail, Gateway Drug and Rehab Services, it could be a Title I school, a domestic violence shelter, any number of places like that, and host a 1 hour to 90-minute long class that includes reading poetry, writing poetry, and then doing some kind of art activity that coincides with the reading and the writing. Because of what's going on globally and within our community, the group facilitators are not able to go into those communities right now. So what I would like to do during this video is give anybody who's watching a chance to experience one of our groups. So the lesson that I wanted to do today centers around gratitude. I know for me and for a lot of other people that it's really hard to maintain an attitude of gratitude in our day-to-day lives, and that's when things might generally be going really well. So it becomes even more difficult when there's a lot going on around us that feels out of our control. So to start the lesson, I'm going to read a short story. A blind boy sat on the steps of a building with a hat by his feet. He held up a sign which read, "I am blind, please help." There were only a few coins in the hat, spare change from folks as they hurried past. A man was walking by. He took a few coins from his pocket and dropped them into the hat. He then took the sign, turned it around, and wrote some words. He put the sign back in the boy's hand so that everyone who walked by would see the new words. Soon the hat began to fill up. A lot more people were giving money to the blind boy. That afternoon, the man who changed the sign returned to see how things were. The boy recognized his footsteps and asked, "Were you the one who changed my sign this morning? What did you write?" The man said, "I only wrote the truth. I said what you said, but in a different way. I wrote, 'Today is a beautiful day, but I cannot see it.'" Both signs spoke the truth, but the first sign simply said the boy was blind, while the second sign conveyed to everyone walking by how grateful they should be to see. When your life seems full of troubles, it seems difficult to maintain an attitude of gratitude. All we see are our problems, like a blackened storm cloud casting dark shadows over our lives. And the times when everything seems to be going smoothly, we often take those precious moments for granted too. Caught up in comfort and familiarity, we can simply forget to be thankful. So what then is gratitude? Simply put, gratitude is a habit. It's a way of looking at the world and all the good things in it with a feeling of appreciation, regardless of whether or not your current situation is to your liking. Gratitude is a heart-centered approach to being at peace with yourself and with all you have. When you practice this feeling of gratitude, it attracts even more things into your life for which to be grateful. So now that we've read the short story that speaks a little bit to gratitude and perspective, I'm going to go ahead and read you the poem that's for this lesson. Usually participants would have a copy of the poem, and I would encourage them to circle or underline or highlight parts of the poem, or even just single words that stand out while we read. Obviously, you don't have a copy of this at home, but you can grab a piece of paper and jot down anything that stands out to you while I'm reading through this. This is untitled, and it's simply by E.H. She wove golden rays of sunshine into a long and flowing dress that left the scent on everything she touched of nature's sweet caress. Everywhere the girl did go, the flowers would all bloom, and she could chase the lonely feeling out of every darkened room. She could drive out all your sadness and cause a frozen heart to thaw. She'd paint the sky pink every morning, but no one ever saw. No one thought to thank her for the warmth upon their skin or for chasing all their demons from where nighttime's breath had been. So she thought she wasn't needed, she could leave and they'd not care, but they'd just taken her for granted since her light was always there. Because you never thank the ground until you know how it feels to fall, or just how much you need the sun until it doesn't rise at all. So typically during this point in the lesson, we would have a short discussion about what anyone may have written down the words or phrases that stood out to them during the reading of the poem. And I would really encourage you, even if you didn't write anything down, to maybe go back and listen to the poem again. Think about how it makes you feel, what you perceive it to be about, what stands out to you, and maybe ask yourself why those things stand out to you in this moment. How does it correlate to your life right now? So as we move into the writing portion of the lesson, you might want to grab a pen and paper if you haven't already, because I'm going to dictate some questions for you to go back and answer. This is kind of a gratitude journaling exercise, which is something that you can do every day and is actually really beneficial to mental health and perspective, to kind of just jot down at the end of the day good things that happened, what you're thankful for. It doesn't have to be fancy. You don't need a special journal. It's just a way to kind of center your mind on positive things, which is really beneficial for your mental health. So today there are 11 questions that I want you to ask yourself. The first one is, who did I love? So if you want to go ahead and write that down, who did I love? Second, how can I make today better? Third, how was I challenged? Fourth, who did I connect with? Fifth, what am I grateful for? Sixth, what did I learn? Seventh, how did I grow? 8, what made me laugh? 9, what do I have to look forward to? 10, what inspired me and why? 11, what did I bring to the day? So at this point, if you need to go back and rewind so that you catch all those questions, please feel free to do that. But I would love for you to take 10 to 15 minutes and answer these questions as honestly as possible. So we've come to what is typically my favorite part of the lesson, which is the art. And I wanted to keep this really simple, using things that you probably have in your home without too much stress to pull out or find or think about. So for this, you will need a piece of blank paper, markers. If you have an old magazine or even an old book that maybe nobody's reading, an old children's book, you could even use boxes, cereal boxes, granola bar boxes, anything that has color and image that you're willing to cut up. You're also going to need a glue stick. So there's 2 options for the art here. You can do one or the other or both. The first one is really quite simple. It's kind of a gratitude sunshine. So all I've done here is used a cup to draw a circle, wrote I am grateful for, and then used a ruler to create rays. And what you would want to do is go in and you could either illustrate with pictures or use words to just write out things that you're grateful for in your life. I like to tell people too, this class isn't about being a poet or an artist. The writing and the art is intended for you. Nobody's looking to hang these in the Met. You're not turning it in. You don't have to show anyone. This isn't about creating a masterpiece. It's about doing something that's healing and positive in your own life. So please don't ever feel overwhelmed by any of the art or writing that we're going to do here in these videos. So that's the first one. The second one is actually making a card. Just a thank you card for someone in your life, or a I love you card for someone in your life. And a really easy way to do that, what I've done on these is used an old magazine. I basically cut the magazine into strips and then just glued them down. So it creates just kind of a colorful collage on the card that you would then open, and you could write whatever you like in it. It takes pressure off of trying to draw something on a card. Here's another example. The lines are going in a different direction on this one. There's some faces, but same idea. So basically, that's what you're doing with the book or magazine, cereal box, whatever you have on hand that you can cut is actually going to end up looking really neat and creating color on the front of a card. So that is the art lesson for gratitude today. I appreciate you coming and watching this video, and I really hope that you enjoyed it and that you found some peace and some solace while you were here.